For the past 2 years, I've built multiple AI automations, AI integrations that have actually worked. And today, I want to show you one that allows you to re-engage your old leads, old customers without you lifting a finger. A lot of y'all have a problem because you have a hard time finding new leads, finding new customers. You're always trying to look for a new customer, but it's hard because they're cold. They don't know about you. But you have so many people that have bought from you before that like you. And what we're going to do is we're going to use that list and send them emails periodically. Because the biggest thing is they got to be reminded. Because they did show interest in the past. They did show that they like you, they bought from you, or they wanted to buy from you. And what we do is we keep reminding them on a basis. So they never leave that sales funnel. We'll send them an email. And then if they don't reply, the next week we'll send them an email. If they don't reply to that, then 2 weeks later we'll send them an email. If they don't reply to that, 4 weeks later we send them an email. But that person does not leave the sales funnel because there could be 8 weeks out, suddenly they remember that they need to do it. They stay in the sales funnel until they tell us that we don't want any more emails. And it's going to be done really, really easily. The two things that you need is the past customers. And what we need is their name, their email, last time they were contacted, a month since. And the other thing we're going to use is Zapier. Zapier is one of the best AI integration automation tools that require no code. They're really easy to use. And this is going to be the workflow for us. The thing is, I wanted to explain what we're going to do before we do it. We're going to use Google Sheets, as I showed before. And the reason why I'm using Google Sheets is because it's much easier to integrate with than Excel. If you have it in Excel, you can just take it and copy paste it on Google Sheets. Much easier to use on the integration. So we're going to use Google Sheets. We'll do some formatting to make it more personalized. Then we use ChatGPT to make it even more personalized. Then we're going to send that email. So let's get started from scratch. There are a lot of popular things you could do with them, but what we're going to do is we're going to build from scratch. Because there's some templates you could use if you find one that actually works for you. Okay. So the first thing is the trigger. And the thing with the trigger is what action or what happens to start the workflow. Like once this action occurs, the workflow starts. So we're going to pick Google Sheets because the trigger is going to be the instant something happens on the Google Sheet. And the trigger event is what's specifically going to happen. I'll say a new spreadsheet row. So on this past customers, the instant we create a new row here and put their name, email, last contact, and month since, it'll trigger this workflow. And you need to sign in. I already signed in. We pick the spreadsheet, and we're going to pick the past customer spreadsheet that I showed you. Then sheet 1. You press continue. And this test is just there to see that if it's actually working and set up correctly. And this is just an example that's going to be used to see if everything's working perfectly. Okay, so now it's done. So the next thing we got to do is make an email. Go to Gmail, and the event's going to be send an email. Where did that go? Send an email right here. Perfect. Continue. And this is one of the best parts. The thing is, we want to make it more personalized and easy to use. And the field mapping is one of the best things. So what a field mapping is, it takes values from the other parts of this workflow and uses them. If you do the slash, the instant you see this pop up, right? and then you can find the email right here. Every time, so now every time you make a new line on that Google Sheet, it'll trigger and send an email right here. And then the next thing is subject line. Same thing, we're going to do field mapping, and then we're going to take their name. So it's more personalized. Now we're like Sarah Brown, we missed you. That's so the subject line is going to be. And then the body will be hi, and then we're going to do a slash. So for anything in the workflow, if you do a forward slash or this slash, you can use any of the values. What that means is we're going to use Sarah Brown. Whatever you filled in on the name, that's what's going to come here. So if it said Rohan, it's going to come Rohan. Hi, Sarah Brown. There will be we missed you. At I'll call for this video. The business is the Delightful Smile Dentists. We are offering 20% off. This is just an example on your next purchase. Once you write the body, we can write thank you right here. And then I'll just put my name here. And then we press continue. And then we test it. And now it's going to send this email of this Sarah Brown person to their email saying whatever we said. So let's check that out. It didn't actually send because I didn't want to put a random email and it actually worked. So I put an email that actually will not work at all. You see, hi Sarah Brown, we missed you. Thank you, Rohan. And this will happen every time you put a new row in the spreadsheet. But it doesn't seem that personalized, right? One of the ways to make it more personalized would be saying the first name, because if you address them always as Sarah Brown, it seems a little weird. And what we're going to do is we're going to add this step right here. We're going to use the formatter. Because we already have the value, we just need to split it. That way we can only use the first name. So we're going to use text because the name is a text value. And we're going to transform what I said before. We're going to split it. So we have to use the split text. One of the best parts about using this is it's all in understanding English. So if you understand what the words mean, you can actually do it without having any coding experience. That's what's amazing. Oh yeah, here we have to put the input value. So the value we're trying to split. And we're going to put Sarah Brown, so the name. It says Sarah Brown, but just to clarify, it's just an example so we can see if the output actually makes sense. Okay, so Sarah Brown, and you can see when you test it, the output shows Sarah. So now we can use this. Okay, now when we go back to our Gmail, and we'll change the subject line, because it sounds weird when you say Sarah. It doesn't sound weird. It makes it less personalized because we want to make it as personalized as possible, right? We're going to eliminate this and then again do the slash, text the format. So we're going to put the slash and then you can see there's a text formatter here now. Click that, now you click Sarah. That's the best part, is that everything you do in each of these boxes are now connected. So now instead of saying hi Sarah, Sarah Brown, we'll eliminate this and we'll say hi Sarah. making it more personalized. We can also add something. You can say, thank you. This is only for past customers like yourself. A little more personalized. And now we click next. And we will test it again. And we can see the email. Go right here. Hi, Sarah. And then you can see it's a little more personalized. The thing is, I am better at using AI and making prompts for emails than actually writing emails. So what we're going to do is we're going to use OpenAI to be able to make the email better and more personalized. We're going to use, second, show you how I added this. So I added it right here because we need to get the email content before we write the email. And we go to AI by Zapier. This uses OpenAI because it's much easier to use it this way. Okay, now we got to write a prompt, an output field, and input field. The thing is, I don't want to bore you all by typing the whole prompt. So what I'm going to do is I'll just copy paste the prompt that I wrote. Then we can go through it together. Okay, so this is the prompt that I wrote. So the prompt was write a warm and re-engaging email for past customer. We'll give the details here for the name, business, and offer. Another way to make this workflow a little bit better is if you want a different offer for each of the past customers, if you want to make it even more personalized, because that would be really nice. And then I just wrote what the email should be. So greeting by their name, say it's been a while, mention a special offer clearly, add excitement, end with a friendly closing and business name, keep it 4 to 5 sentences, and then you can format it this way because it's much easier to use then. Copy paste this right here into Zapier, here, and then it also rates it. That's really helpful. And then wherever you see the asterisk sign, what we do is we make it more personalized by using the mapping. Then we say here the business name, that would be delightful smile dentists. I spelled delightful wrong. And then the offer, we could say 20% off on your next purchase. Okay, let's see how it is. I thought it was good. I don't know what happened, but you can click this improve prompt thing. That can make it even better. Okay, so now it made it a little bit better. And what we're doing now is we're just making it a little more useful. So what it does, it gives out the fields that you need and then just preview it right here. Because you want to see what you get or what your customers are going to get. Yeah, Sarah, you can see we miss you as a subject line, and the email would be, hi Sarah, it's been a while since we last saw you. We truly miss you. To welcome you back, we're excited to offer you a 20% off on your next purchase. We have also introduced some new services that I think you'll love. Best Delight Smiles Dentists. Then you click the finish button right here. And now we just need to make some edits on the send email thing. Right here, we're going to edit it. The action still remains the same. Now, you click the finish button here, and then you'll get this email thing, and now we need to make some edits there. Let me go to the configuration. Let's see. The subject now, we can cross the whole thing out and use the field mapping again. And now you see the third one. We're going to go here and then use the email subject line right here. Then for the body, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to eliminate this, use the field mapping again, and get this email body. So now every time it'll create a new one specifically for the person. Click continue. And this test feature is amazing because it always tests out whatever you do. That way you don't do something that doesn't work. If you test it out, let's see. It'll send the email. Let's check. Okay, let's check our email right here. Hi, Sarah. It's been a while since we last saw you. We truly miss you. Welcome back. We need to fix some of the formattings that we could do right now. But did you see how much the email improved just by adding these things? And I would say this is a really nice way to make it more personalized. The more data you have on your past leads and past customers, it can make it even more. But I think this is a really good way to keep reminding them that, oh, you came here, you need this. Because I think most people buy because they keep getting reminded about these services. Because sometimes they might just forget about y'all. But the instant they get reminded, they'll go, okay, I need to go. Now we can fix the formatting a little. Let me see how to fix the formatting if I want to. Here. Then let's see if this would change. Yeah, you can see how much it improved it now. The best and the delight smile dentist went down, making it better formatted. But you can see how much we improved just by adding the AI component, figuring out the name, making the first name, and these small improvements over time makes it even more personalized. And this is one of the easiest ways to keep your customers reminded. Because the main thing they need is to be reminded, because this saves time but also makes you money. It saves time because you don't have to go through the lists of all the past customers and leads, find their email, and then email it to them. It makes money because you don't have to go look for new leads, because you can keep going through the people that already know you and that like you and like your services. And this whole thing took 20 minutes or 15 to 20 minutes, but it can allow you to get so much more sales